Okay, this is old Cam.
And this is not a spring chicken. Today we have a tribute to
Dame
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
So first of all, I mean, part of it is there's a lot of people in Hollywood. Actually, they pass in Hollywood in threes.
Yeah. So there'll probably be two more going very shortly. You know, was it last week they had three icons die, and this week Elizabeth Taylor is the first, but this is just like Wednesday of this week. But we're gonna try to talk about Elizabeth Taylor from, okay, my grandmother was related to Elizabeth Taylor's father.
Right, so part of it is our perspective on Elizabeth Taylor is going to be a lot different than what you would probably typically hear from most people.
Because I actually got to, okay, I worked with her in 3 pictures because they needed somebody that basically, okay, most of the people don't realize that when she first started out in movies in the early 40s, she tended to do things that were European in nature.
Well, because she's actually...
She's English.
She's British, right?
She's British, yeah, she's British. And basically...
Is that where the dame part came in?
That's why she became a dame, was because she was British. That what happened was, and like I said, she had the face of an angel from the time she was very young. And she looked far more mature than what she was. So if they did things, because here's the way it worked. My grandmother, I cannot figure out how the relationship is, because my grandmother was related to her father. My grandmother was a script supervisor. So what they did at that time, guys were hitting on her all the time, Elizabeth Taylor. Even when she was little, guys were hitting on her. And they needed somebody that basically was sort of like safe. You know, what's safer than a male relative?
You were safe.
No, but like I said, we're explaining what happened with Elizabeth Taylor. She came from England. She was part of a lot of children from English. You know, from the English that came over during World War II. Roddy McDowall came over, and I think Angela Lansbury, Elizabeth Taylor, Peter Lawford, just a whole army of young English children came over, some older than others. And Taylor, I think, her and Roddy McDowall were about the same age. So that's why Roddy McDowall and her were lifelong friends, because she was the one person that she could really relate to in life, was the one that basically came over with her, and he was about the same age. But like I said, they would do things in movies, and they need somebody that looked somewhat, you know, English. He could basically speak with a very, you know, his English accent, have his nose stuck up, you know, up in the air, and I could basically do that because my grandmother was from England. So I had my other grandmother. My other grandmother was from Ireland, so I could be English or I could be Irish.
Or German.
And I could be German if I had to be. So it made it real simple for me to do those parts, because my father was from Germany, one grandmother was from Ireland, the other grandmother was from England, so I could be any of those things. I was interchangeable in those movies. But because like I said, I didn't work on the MGM lot. I mean, my father was a second unit man over on Poverty Row, which actually had some big studios on it. But that's basically, they called it Poverty Row because they had no budget to work on movies. But there was, you know, Columbia Pictures with, you know, with a lot of big stars. You know, it happened one night with Clark Gable and Claudette Grobert was a Poverty Row picture. You know, multiple Academy Awards. But, Rita Hayworth was a Poverty Row performer over at Columbia. But so I wasn't one of the people that they basically had to worry about, because you know, you had to have teachers on the set over at MGM. Where I came from, they didn't have to have teachers on the set. No, did not have to have teachers on the set. I mean, we'll put it this way: Elizabeth Taylor was 5 years older than I was. So if you know how old Elizabeth Taylor is, now you know exactly how old Cam is, and why he was dancing in Surf and Sand pictures in the 1950s, because he was old enough. But I was not from the studio, which basically means I didn't have to conform with all the things they had to do. So if they could call me up from, you know, once again, it'll be like the, you know, hey, you know, hey Mary, is that grandson of yours available? We need him to dance with, you know, Taylor. And well, my grandson doesn't dance with Bob. They said, no, Elizabeth. And who's Elizabeth? And then they, oh, I know. You know, her father and I are related. It never was I was related to Elizabeth Taylor. It was my grandmother would always say I was related to her father. which meant she was
Which
related.
means she was related to you.
But it never was. It was never stated that way. At no time did we say we were related to Elizabeth Taylor. We're related to her father. You know, it's just because for some reason it never chimed in. Well, she was just a little. She was a teenager.
She was a kid.
She had kids, so.
You were a kid.
But they did just like. I mean, I got to hold hands with her. I got to, you know, I got to dance with her in one thing, and the only reason I got to dance with her was because it was a good one. I was telling Honest Spring Chick that she couldn't dance, could not dance. I could dance, but what the director of the movie did not understand is I couldn't dance without seeing what was being done. So, you know, they give me the old, you know, we're doing the little, the little teenager. Actually, what it is when you're teenagers, boys and girls have a problem trying to figure out where to put hands. So the director would come back and he'd go, there, you know, like slap the hand down on, and they said this, and then she'd up there, you know, and he'd say, and then he'd say, okay, you know, he'd say, you know, watch his, just smile and watch his feet, and then I'm sitting there. Does the guy know that I can't dance without watching the other person? And then, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, they brought the music up so we could rehearse it. Oh, I can waltz. And I got this grin like a Cheshire cat on my face. And I heard people, you know, the other guys, you know, in school when they found out about that, oh yeah, you know, I saw that, man, you were really grinning about dancing with Taylor. I said, no, you know, I knew why I was grinning. I actually knew the dance. So I'm so happy, I'm smiling, and she's basically smiling, watching my feet. And that the whole thing looked like, I mean, I really, oh God, I mean, well, I'm actually looking down at the top of her outfit at times too, but I never really noticed.
You're a cousin.
They're cousins, but I'm just, like I said, we're dancing and we're doing it around, and basically that was for like 10 seconds. All of that we did for 10 seconds.
You mean 10 seconds on screen time?
10 seconds on screen time took hours to do. And, you know, and it basically ended because she had to go back to school. And, you know, that's my Taylor. I mean, I basically, in another thing, I'm playing the, you know, the very proud, the German, you know, which basically I was taller than she was because she's a woman anyway. Like I said, 5 years younger. She's, I think she's like 14 and I'm 9. 9. But I'm taller than she is, so, because she's not, Elizabeth Taylor, not a tall woman.
Oh, like about how tall was she?
She's 5'3", 5'4".
Oh, really? I thought she was taller than that.
No, but that's why she ended up. We're talking. Then she's like 4'5", 4'6", and I'm well over. I'm all of about 5'3".
Oh, at that age.
Yeah, at 5'3", I'm really big at my age, and I've got my little, you know, I'm in my
it's
little.
It's like watching two little kids.
I know, two little kids. I'm in my formal outfit, and I'm, you know, and then. You know, and then I, you know, and, you know, with he, you know, announcing the thing, and then we walk in together, and then I leave.
Oh.
Whole big thing, you know. Then another one, you know, you know, and we're doing the, you know, out in the country, you know, she's doing the poor little English girl, you know, and I'm basically one of the native kids, and I'm, you know, I'm basically, you know, because I'm the one, once again, they didn't let guys that were not related to, I think, hold hands with her.
Oh, is that what it...
Oh, I had another great big scene. I helped her over a fence.
Yeah, but see, you got to be in movies with her. That's 3.
I know, I got to be in 3 things.
There's a lot of people that
but
have
we're
never
talking,
had
it's called clip, 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 clip. And then they say, you know, young man, you know, with Taylor on fence, uncredited. They did not give credit to people that basically didn't do any. In the 1970s, the Screen Actors Guild changed the situation. All the unions, you seen the credits that go on for 20 minutes?
Yeah, but before, I've seen some of those movies, there's like 5 people credited.
I know, I mean,
like
I can guarantee you, Peter Lawford, who was a major star in the 40s and 50s and 60s, didn't even get credit in his first movies. Robert Mitchum did not get credit in his first movies. They did not give credit to people that weren't. They did not the main stars and the other stars underneath, the co-stars. That was all that got credit. So I'm there, and it's simple to put. You just look for the guy that looks Teutonic or English with these great big ears sticking out on the side of his head, because they like that look. Basically, I'm either German or I'm English.
So what was she like in person?
She was nice. I mean, she was okay. She had this little. I can't remember what it was, a gerbil or a mouse or something. she played with it all the time. That, you know, all little kids. But what happened was I can guarantee you that why Taylor was liked at MGM was because most of the other MGM kids were all snobs. I mean, big. I mean, they had, because they'd all been working longer than she had. So they had their noses stuck up. This is a little immigrant girl coming over here because she had no place to go. So, I mean, they were, I mean, she had her friends, you know, like, I think Margaret O'Brien was a friend. Jane Withers was another one. Jane Withers, who was, you know, basically Josephine the Plumber was a member of the Kitty Corps. And you know, she didn't, she liked Angela Lansbury, but Angela Lansbury was much older than her. Angela Lansbury was an older teenage girl. Ooh. Yeah, and guys, Angela Lansbury can be going out with, and nobody went out with Elizabeth because Elizabeth was the darling of the people upstairs. They protected her like a hawk.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so, but I mean, as I understand from the people, the kids I knew over on the MGM lot, she was god-awful great to be around. She was just, you know, the little girl that basically everything was all new and she was just enjoying everything. What she did not enjoy was everybody telling her how beautiful she was.
Really? She didn't enjoy that? Why?
She didn't want to be beautiful. She just wanted to be
like everybody else.
Like everybody else. And all they would do, you know, the other girl, I wished I was as beautiful as Taylor. They never called her Elizabeth.
Really?
Actually, I know that Roddy McDowell called her Stinky. And he said it isn't because, not because of the fact that Stinky is a nickname for Elizabeth. So, yeah, Roddy McDowell could get away with that. So could R.J. Wagner.
R.J. Wagner was Robert Wagner, right?
Yeah, actually he's R.J. Robert Johann Wagner. Not Wagner, Robert Johann Wagner. But that was World War II, folks. This is Bob Wagner. You know, Jay basically vanished during World War II. Robert Johann Wagner. You know, Bill Conrad, who was basically William Conrad, who was a great did James Arnold. He did Gunsmoke, was basically you know, Robert Conrad Wagner, German. So he no longer was. He played Germans in World War II, but he did not use a German name. So, but you know, but that's my recognition. I do know that the day that Elizabeth Taylor hit 18 was the last day she had much to do with any of the Kitty Corps over at the studios.
Why? What happened? It was like a light switch?
She just like the light switch, and she all of a sudden realized that she was as beautiful as people said she was. And basically, if you were, we're talking, Mels like me never got to dance with her again. I mean, then it was like Bob Stack, who was the fair-haired, blonde-haired. Okay, put it this way: Robert Stack, who died recently, I think was a decade older than me. And he was like 5 years older than Elizabeth Taylor. So like he was with, what was the young name? But they had a young woman, Diana Durbin. He was the first one to lay a smooch on Diana Durbin. Guess who got to lay the first kiss on Elizabeth Taylor?
Who?
The nice blonde-haired Bob Stack. World War II veteran, you know, the hero.
Is that the first on-screen kiss or off-screen kiss?
On-screen.
Oh.
Because Bob Stack was a I think Armour Foods. He would have been an.
He was a big guy.
Yeah,
he was like.
I know he's a big man, but he was brought up in the world that they preferred to see Elizabeth Taylor in. This is one of the. He'd have been an Olympian if there'd have been the Olympics. You know, he was a great gun, you know, handler of guns, a yachtsman, basically car driver. Everything that they'd want to see Elizabeth Taylor out with Bob Stack. So, but she, you know, had nothing to do with the stuff. I mean, I do know what was his name, Don Taylor, who my father knew Don Taylor from World War II. Don Taylor was the gentleman that married Elizabeth Taylor, and in the movie that made her star Fathers, you know, where basically you have Venture Tracy Fang, her Father the Bride it was, and then Father's Little Dividend was those two movies. And Bob Taylor, you know, said basically, you know, gosh, she's a stuck-up bitch. Yeah, I heard it, my father said he told that to him. He said,